Alright guys, so today we're going to finish going over our problem from yesterday. We are going to come up with a really good plan. So we're going to do a number sentence that has a variable in it. We're going to draw a model. So our model is going to be our strip diagram. And then once we come up with a good plan, we're going to use that to solve it and then justify our answer. Okay? So we said, let's revisit this. I will find the difference. Okay, so difference. That was a good subtraction word. So I'm going to make myself a little note. I think I'm subtracting the difference between Mrs. Russell's ice chest and the combined, okay, combined means add, combined weight of Mrs. G's and Mrs. H's. Okay, so I think I'm going to add those two together and subtract it from this one. Okay, so I know this is going to be a two-step problem. So before I even write my number sentence, I kind of want to get this down in a picture so I can get a better idea about it. Now, I know that if I'm subtracting it from Mrs. Russell's, mine, that my number must be the bigger number. So it's going to go by itself up here. So my number was 86, okay? And then we had the combined weight of Mrs. G and Mrs. H. So combined means I got to put them together on the same line. So one of those was 48. Oh, and I should have made that closer to half, but that's okay. And then the other one was 26. And if I want to know the difference, I know there has to be some amount of pounds left over. So I'm going to label that with a P for pounds. That will be my variable. All right, so for my number sentence, I'm going to have to take 86 minus, now, this step needs to be put in parentheses where you're combining the two, okay, because that will actually be the first step in my problem. In parentheses, show the first step in a problem. Okay, because what I would really want to do is add these first and then subtract it from the 86. But I can't write that first in my number sentence because that's a smaller number. It's got to go after. Okay, so like I said, my first step is actually what's in my parentheses. So 48 plus 26. And I'm just using my standard algorithm. Okay, remember, yesterday we talked about some different ways to add. You could have broken it apart in expanded form. You could have done it on a number line. Any of those ways are okay. I'm using my standard algorithm. All right, so I have 8 plus 6. Okay, so that's kind of a bigger number to add. That one's a little bit harder. You might need to use your fingers. When I think about this, I think about, okay, well, if my 8 borrowed 2 from the 6, it becomes 10. Then I have 4 left over, so that gives me 14. You could have also counted up and said, okay, start with 8, and then go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and use your fingers. That's okay too. I'm going to make sure to bring my 110 over here. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so when I combined Mrs. Russell and, Mrs. Gray and Mrs. Hicks's ice chest, it was 74 pounds. Now I can tell the difference by saying Mrs. Russell's was 86 minus theirs at 74. Oh, I didn't even give y'all any regrouping. Okay, so I got more up top, so I don't need to borrow. 6 take away 4 leaves me with 2. 8 take away 7 leaves me with 1. So remember, I was solving for P for pounds, so 12 pounds is the difference. Okay, so over in your check, this is where you're justifying. You're telling me why you added and why you subtracted. So you might say, and remember we can use the symbols, I'm okay with that. I added because, that's even the short way to write because. I added because it said a combined weight. Okay, that's where I'm pulling in those keywords as important things. I subtracted because we needed to find the difference. Okay? Awesome. Okay, if you missed any of that, fix it in your journal. This is the time that you get to fix it so that Friday when you do your quiz, you have the correct way to work these types of problems.